believe in giving guys small buckets. You know, one thing I talked to the backs about here when I got here is that we're going to have a core big three. You know, these are the three things that if we can get these things aligned, we can be great. You know, and none of these core big three talk about how big or how fast you have to be. These are all just three things that I think all of us as running back coaches can try to give our guys a baseline of a standard and expectation that we want to see. So the first and most important thing we talk about all the time, every day. Every day at practice, I'm yelling ball team because the ball is the team. So if you ever come to a practice, or hell, even if you're at a game and I'm yelling loud, ball team, because I want these guys to understand that the ball is the team. So the way you protect the ball is the way you reflect the team. So the first principle about core big three is be a great protector. And you got to protect two things. I think first and foremost, you got to protect the football, you know, because you hold all of our dreams, goals, and aspirations every time you carry the football. And now you'll see some clips from the last place I was at, and then also some drill tape from University of Alabama since I've been here. But I think this is a great clip. Again, this is a kid that I coached last year that's up for the draft. But I think right here at the end of the run, you know, everybody, you know, as you guys know, you have a receiver or a DB walk by you all the time. Hey, Coach G, put me in the backfield. I want to run the ball. Everybody wants to do it, but nobody wants to do the hard part. And the hardest part about playing this position is that everybody wants this ball. So at the end of this run, everybody's holding him up, trying to strip this ball out, and the ref hasn't blown the whistle yet. So this is a great clip of that. I mean, this guy's dropping all of his body weight on the ball, trying to get it out. So that's a great example of your first job is to protect the football. This is a great clip from last year that I like to show. And it's not the defender that you see, it's the defender that you don't see. So in this clip here, it's right there. I mean, right there, this guy's throwing all of his weight on this ball. He's trying with everything he has to spin. So again, everybody wants to be a beast until you got to do what beasts do. So protecting that football is something we talk about all the time on every snap. And I think that's a great clip of how passionate you got to be to protect the ball, because everybody on this team is dependent on that. So these are some of the things that we do. You know, obviously, you know, a lot of things that you guys do. I like to take these straps and instead of pulling it from the back, every day here at Alabama, our defense and the offense have a circuit drill where the defense is trying to pull our fingertips off the front of the ball. So instead of having that strap in the back, I'm pulling the strap from the front so that way he can feel the sensation of trying to get his fingertips ripped off the ball. And I want his shoulders to be rolled over the ball because, again, people think ball security starts with your arms and hands. To me, great ball security starts with pad level. So all the guys in the room, the first thing I ask, hey, great pad level. I mean, ball security starts with what? The whole room says pad level because that's important. So even here, he needs to roll his shoulders over the ball more. There are a couple better clips of it here, okay? So if you look at here, really good job with the tip of the ball being high and tight to his chin, doing a great job working with his offhand because, again, pad level is a great part of ball security, but also offhand because, you know, this guy is trying to reach in. If I'm in open field and I can use my offhand as a weapon to knock his hand down, that's keeping his hand away from the ball too. But a lot of times when guys focus on the defender away from him, they lose focus of the ball. So, again, I want this guy to have to focus on his feet. I want him to have to focus on the ball, which is the most important thing, but also being able to use his offhand as a weapon. So he's got to do a lot of things at once, but understanding that ball security is the most important thing. Another thing, guys, fumbles occur when you're in bad football position. All right, so we talk about protecting the football being one of core big three, but here fumbles occur whenever you start to stumble and fall and get off balance and spin. So again, like you guys do, I'm always trying to think of ways to put these guys in positions that they're going to be in throughout the game that are going to cause them to have to focus on the ball rather than everything else around. So again, the same thing, just trying to tug and pull that ball out. All right, the second part of part one, again, you want to be a great protector of the football, all right? And then next, you want to be a great protector of the quarterback, all right? So again, if you can't protect the quarterback, it's going to be hard for you to play, whether it's in college, high school, NFL, Pee Wee football, because there's a big drop-off a lot of times from the number one quarterback to the number two. So we talk all the time about protecting the quarterback. You got to take pride in it. So again, if you just look at here, this is one of the guys from the other day, you know, not about the size of the dog, but it's about the fight of the dog. This is one of our smaller backs here. Keelan Robinson, he's a tough kid, man. Uses great technique, gets inside out. He's in the A-gap, one of the toughest positions of places to block. He does a great job going against some great linebackers, just trying to hold the gates closed for as long as he can. But again, he's low, hitting on the rise, got his elbows tight, thumbs up, and starting his feet on contact. So that's a great example. All right, the second part of the big three, again, the first one's being a great protector. The next one's being a great finisher. As a running back, you got to be a great finisher in everything you do. Because if you get knocked backwards, because again, the offensive line is going to block for at least 1 or 2 yards on every play. Great running backs turn into a 4-yard game. So all the time we talk about being a great finisher. Again, just like great ball security with pad level, being a great finisher with pad level also. So again, you want to finish runs with great violence and pad level. Again, this shoot comes out again. If you look at B-Rob, all right, he's a taller guy, and this has been good for him because what happens is the wider you get outside of your framework, the more power you lose. So this is a good cut here where he doesn't get outside of the framework of the shoot. But some of these cuts for a bigger guy like him, he gets too wide and he gets off balance. So again, like this last cut here, he's way too wide away from his body, so he's losing power. So B-Rob is a strong guy, but again, the further you get away from the core of your body, the more power you lose. So here, if he can sink his hips a little bit more, and also looking at the ball shouldn't move. Every time we cut, you should squeeze the ball. So every time you cut, the running back should squeeze the ball. So again, just working on violent cuts, not a race. And then all of a sudden, when you come out, you want to split two defenders. You want to put ball side down. You don't want to take this ball that's in the right arm, and now you've been with your left shoulder. Now the ball becomes exposed. We want you to put ball side down where these defenders don't have a chance to hit either one of your pants. All right, you don't want these guys to hit you square. Again, every day in practice, we started with our defensive guys doing a 2-on-1 drill for ball security, which I think is great for the backs and for the linebacker because we got to learn to drop our hips. Great job here. First foot. Great job not being outside of the framework of his body. Got power. Next thing, same thing. Got his power. Got his power. And then the last thing, see right here, how he puts ball side down? Because you don't want to split these guys, and now you take the ball and you put it up and expose the ball to contact. So really good job putting ball side down. But again, we want to practice with pad level. Same thing. All right, we got to split two defenders, ball side down. Split two defenders, ball side down. And again, the same thing. Now we attacking one, we call it a blast and lift. So we blast on two defenders and we lift on one. Same leg, same shoulder. And again, focus on the ball away from the defender. A lot of guys, when they go make contact away from the ball gets outside of their body. So just watching this with these guys makes these guys understand, hey, you can attack a defender away from the ball, but you still got to have great ball security. All right? So again, we talk about playing lower pad level. So this is a clip. Again, Mike Carter's another guy that's up for the draft from North Carolina. He's 5'7", 202 pounds. But this is a great example of blasting two defenders. So again, ball is in his left hand, ball side down, and he makes contact. We talk about finishing with pad level. Contact's made here at the 22-yard line. All right? We get to the 27-yard line. So again, we talk about playing with great pad level and finishing with violence. Again, in none of these core big three that we talk about how big you got to be. All right? So again, we just want to talk about the small fundamentals that help us finish with runs with pad level and violence. We want to finish off blitzes with power and technique. Again, same thing here. We got a chip block. If we get a chance to chip, which in this league, in SEC, you got a chip, we're going to play against great defensive ends. Right here, if you look at the very top, if a half a man shows outside of a block, we're going to try to put his ass back on the block. All right? But there are times where we got to chip that guy or nudge him back inside. We never want to knock him off the block. But at times, man, we want to be violent and be intentional when you got a chance to chip block. Okay? So again, small details. Same leg, same shoulder. Same way you finish on with balance when you run the ball. You got to be intentional. Take your time. Same leg, same shoulder. Rip up through violently. Again, you're going to get what you require those guys to do in practice. Same thing here. Again, we don't just want to block guys. We want to be great in every time we put our hands on somebody. So here, all right, being low, get our hands up inside, and we want to take guys' feet. This mouthpiece, we want to take his mouthpiece, and we want to run our feet, and we want to take his ass and finish him. And everything we do to make him have to decide if he wants to continue to blitz. So again, really good job hitting on the rise, low to high, and finishing guys when we block them. We want to be physical finishers in all that we do. Again, first you got to be a great protector. You got to be a great finisher. And last, you got to be a great eraser. That's it. And none of those that I talk about, you got to be 6'3", you got to run a 4'4", you got to run a 4'3", because not all guys going to be the same. I mean, they're great running backs that run 4'6". You guys got a great running back in your high school that runs a 4'8", 4'9". But if he can do all these things, just work on being low, being violent, being physical, shit, he can play running back, man. So last thing's been a great eraser. And I say it all the time. I said it today. Hey, great running backs make you right when things go wrong. I can get the ball right now, run through a big offense. The offensive line we have here, man, is a talented group of guys. The holes sometimes are so big, I can still run through. But what we got to get are guys that can make us right when the three technique comes free in the SEC. When a nose and an odd front swims our center, because that's going to happen. We got to have guys that can make you right when things go wrong. So you got to be a great eraser, okay? So again, this is a great clip. Again, I got some great examples from here that I just didn't put on this film. All right, but we got to have guys that are great erasers. So if you look at it here, we're running inside zone. All right, The defensive end does a great job, or excuse me, the forward does a great job of having hat placement inside. All right, tackle the guard is getting beat. We got to be an eraser for him. Now we got to be a great eraser, but also fumbles occur when you're in bad football position. Right now, Mike is in a bad position, and now a lot of guys when they make this cut with their right foot, the ball gets away from their body. He does a great job of punching and keeping that ball inside of his framework. So again, he was an eraser here. We got an unblocked safety because we're throwing RPOs in the hitch. So again, you got to be a great eraser and make the play right when it should be wrong, and that's what great players do. But you got to also have great ball security when you're doing that. So that's a great job by him making us right. But again, just finding ways in practice. So again, work on making this hot cut, because a lot of times when you hot cut away from your body, right there, that cut right there is a cut that just showed up on film. So as he's making that cut to get away from the defender, working underneath the shoots again for pad level, I'm trying to make sure he has awareness to squeeze the ball away from his cut. Because whenever we cut, we squeeze. Whenever we cut, we squeeze. So again, just finding ways to work on these guys in practice, do it. All right. Same thing here. Working with these guys in camp before we can have a football. Again, just finding ways to make these guys understand cut and squeeze. Cut and squeeze. Whenever I cut, I squeeze. I'm staying low underneath the shoe. All right. Again, just a hop cut. Just a basic press the front side A gap closes, squeeze the ball. Backside A gap closes, squeeze the ball again. But every time he cuts, he squeezes and got great pad level. All right. It shows up in the game. If you look at it from the back, same deal. We're pressing the front side A gap on the inside zone. All right. A gap, cut, squeeze, cut, squeeze. Same hot cut. Shoot, shoot. And again, the whole time, watch the ball. So again, it's just trying to find ways to simulate the things that are going to happen in the game. So that way, with the Saturdays, we're just reacting, man. We're not thinking at all. But great job pressing the front side A gap. Good base, ball goes up the whole time, and it stays there. And he finishes with the ball side down away from the defender, high and tight to his chin. So again, be a great eraser. Again, the last defender belongs to you. Again, I think it's important to teach these guys who's the unblocked defender on every play. If we run into the field, it's cover 3 or cover 4, understand who's going to show up. Middle field closed, middle field open. All right, but great example again. We once we get you to the open field in a one-on-one matchup, all right, we have to go win. If we don't win, guys, that's a minus. Because we blocked it, we moved the field, and we get you in a one-on-one matchup, we think we got the best football player on the field. It's our player versus that player. It's your DNA versus his DNA. So we talk all the time about making the last defender miss. So we've been doing a great job here in camp so far of just setting up guys in one-on-one. We go against the best defense in the country every day. So we can get one-on-one with these safeties, these corners, these linebackers. We can make them miss. We know we can do it against anybody. So, again, just talking to these guys all the time about finding ways to be a great eraser. So here, we get to a one-on-one, we bounce again. Pre-snap, we understand right now we're running count. We're going to kick out the end. Tight end's going to fit inside, or he's going to spill it to the Mike linebacker. We're running an RPO off the safety where the quarterback can raise up, throw behind the nickel Sam, if we want to. But running back, pre-snap, you know that's the guy that's going to be unblocked. So you got to have a plan. You got to make this guy miss. And if we don't make him miss, it's a 6-yard game. We want guys that can go from 8 to 8. An 8-yard game can turn to an 80-yard game. Those are the kind of backs that you want to play with. Guys that can make the first